Hello everybody and welcome to our Friday live stream. I hope you're all well today and thank you very much for joining us. We're going to embrace April showers today. I don't know if you had the weather that we had yesterday where it was crashing down with rain for a short while and then bright periods of sunshine. So this is our homage, if you like, to April showers. We're using welly boots. So these Wellingtons have very kindly been donated by Laura's grandma, and as a sort of in honour of her, we decided to order a spray rose called Grandma's Garden. Now these aren't actually available on our website at the moment, so quite exciting really, really lovely big blousy rose. This is Grandma's Garden. However, we can source them for you in alternative methods, so if you are very interested in it, then give us a call. We'll try and source them for you. Alternatively, perhaps look at a variety called Piano or maybe Bombastic. It's got that really blousy feel, sort of almost vintage garden style feel to it. So yeah, so that's Grandma's Garden. We also have Veronica Kea here. This is actually Anna. It's a spray Veronica. So as you can see, rather than purchasing Veronica with just a single stem, the spray, as the name suggests, is multi-headed. So really usable, especially if you're doing sort of jam jar arrangements, loose country garden or rustic arrangements. Multi-headed, really, really beautiful, that one. Give us a shout if you can hear us okay, and obviously make yourself known. We'd like to know who we're speaking to. Hit that like button and don't forget to share us with your friends. Also got A Major's Visnaga. You might know this as a Queen Anne's lace. I would say it's almost essential in rustic wedding flowers. A little bit like the dill family, so it does have a certain fragrance about it, but a really brilliant alternative to gypsophila if you're not a huge fan of gypsophila. It's very light and delicate, quite fluffy, very natural looking. So that's the spray rose Grandma's Garden, Amy Major's Visnaga, the spray Veronica Anna. Also got some double Lysianthus here. Now this particular one is called Rosita Double Pink. So the double Lysianthus, it's almost rose-like in its appearance, that it's multi-petaled. As you can see there, several petals. Yeah, really pretty Lysianthus, that one. Also got Thalaspi Green Bell. Now this is again very good for rustic style arrangements. The lovely thing about using it in your jam jars, if you're doing a jam jar style, is you get several breaks off one stem, as you can see. So this particular stem here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably 9 breaks. And you can use that, cutting several pieces off, popping that into a jar. You can then use it as a frame to work in with all your other flowers. So it's really usable foliage. Well, I guess you'd call it a foliage to be fair, but it does have a little flower on the end. But we term it as a greenery. Okay, so that's the variety of flowers, plant material that I'm using today. Obviously my 2 Wellingtons. Now what I've done with the wellies is I've actually recycled a couple of 2 litre drinks bottles. Just literally cut those off, and I have actually done one ready there with a piece of Oasis into it. But obviously if you're keen not to use Oasis and you prefer obviously to keep it all very natural and just use water, then you could just put water into the drinks bottle and then slip it into the welly. Still going to get the same principle. Okay, I am going to use Oasis on this occasion, but there are alternatives. So trying to keep it as eco-friendly as we can, so by reusing the plastic drinks bottles, they obviously will hold water. And the nice thing as well is, if you're making these up in advance, you could always remove the arrangement from the welly, take your wellies separately, and then take the arrangement in the container already arranged. So when you get on site or when you get to your venue, just pop the containers back into the Wellingtons. All right. So this type of arrangement would really lend itself well to something quite fun. If you've got a wedding that's kind of got that theme going, you could stand these at the porch of the church as a welcome. You could stand them on, if I show you what I mean, when it's finished, you could use a crate or something like this, and then just stand them at different, whoops, wrong way around, stand them at different heights. I'll show you that when I've finished, actually. That'll probably be easier than trying to bundle that along now. Okay, so we're going to start with the Thalaspi green bell.
We can do our shout outs first, Deb. So we've got Charlie and Debbie, who are one of our top fans. They've joined us today. We've also got Julie, Adriana, Rachel, who says hello, and Adriana says that it's raining in Somerset.
Oh, so quite appropriate for April showers then, Adriana. Thanks for joining us today, ladies. Yeah, we had our April showers yesterday, so really nice bright sunshine out there today here, which I don't suppose I should say really when you're suffering from April showers, but I have to say, still quite chilly here, quite chilly. So starting off by placing the Thalaspi green bell as almost, I suppose you would describe it as my outline. Not that there's really an outline as such for this arrangement. It's all going to be very loose and very natural looking. To be fair, it's the looser and the more natural the better really, because that's the style of arrangement that a Wellington would lend itself to. I mean, you can have so much fun with wellies as a container. Obviously get the children involved. I'm sure they'll think it's great fun if they can recycle their wellies as an arrangement. Yeah, it lends itself to several different styles. Garden parties, where you want to use them perhaps as a welcome. Be a good talking point anyway. So just popping some pieces of the Thalaspi into the start of this arrangement. You can see how we started off with it. Very, very natural, nothing too structured about it. Seems very strange to be moving Wellingtons around on the table.
It's a fabulous idea.
All I really need is an umbrella and I think we've got the whole kit. So tell us actually about any unusual containers that you've used. I think one of my strangest ones was a bra, believe it or not. It was a celebration for a lady who had actually, fortunately, been given the all clear for breast cancer. So she had a big party to celebrate, and we did arrangements in bras, believe it or not. So yeah, that was
that's lovely.
Quite a unique one. So see if anybody can come up with something even more unusual than that.
You've done a few different ones, haven't you? You've done cabbages and
cabbages.
Handbags.
Have done handbags, yeah. I was just trying to think what else we've done recently. Cabbages, handbags, pencils. We did
pencil arrangement, yeah.
Did a container with lots of pencils around the outside. It's amazing what you. Henry the Hoover.
Henry the Hoover.
We did do Henry the Hoover. We did an arrangement in Henry. So yeah, there are all sorts of weird and wonderful things that you can do. And never throw containers away. Baked bean tins. We've done baked bean tins for a wedding before, where they've been washed up and used with flowers in.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Let's go back to that reusing, recycling. Anything really that you've got around the house.
Upcycling, isn't it?
Upcycling,
Isn't that calling it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're making it look pretty.
So yeah, in the spirit of obviously not throwing things away anymore, and also old buttons. I've used old buttons to decorate jam jars with for events. So
we've got Charlie who says, I've used one of my ex-partner's snare drums from his drum kit. I did ask permission.
Oh, that's brilliant. I like the sound of that. Yeah, that would be really good for a rock night
Yeah.
or for a party celebrate. Yeah, excellent. We like that idea. Right, so I'm now going to start with my Lisianthus. So we've got 2 arrangements there, as you can see with the Lasby green bell. So I'm just going to move one of the willies to one side and work on one.
I know you're working on that one, but just to clarify, how many stems did you just use for both the willies?
1 stem of the Lasby in each.
Perfect.
So it's a really economical arrangement to do because there's actually not a huge amount of space there. So, yeah. So starting off with my Lisianthus or Eustoma.
So Elspeth, from the start, we're actually using 2 different types of, well, I wouldn't say greenery as such, we were using flowers. So we've started with the Lasby green bell, and then we've got the Animagus to act as a green foliage.
Kind of like
Filler.
a filler almost, really. Yeah.
So they're not particularly greenery as such, but
no, it's quite difficult really, because some people refer to greenery as fillers, some people refer to flowers as fillers. So it's not always easy to know what people are asking for when they ask for something that's a filler. But I'm just using the Animagus just to give it a bit of a lighter effect really. And then just
you could use greenery, couldn't you? What would you suggest in this style of arrangement?
To replace the Animagus?
Yeah, or the Lasby.
Yeah, asparagus fern would be quite nice because it's light and floaty. Sporengii, asparagus sporengii, Sporangia falcatus, any of those, or even actually the asparagus tree fern, or something light and fluffy and delicate would work quite well really. I mean, if you wanted to be a little bit more conscious of perhaps some kind of significance or meaning to the arrangement, then maybe go for something like rosemary. You've got the tall spikes, rosemary is a nice grey tone and obviously signifies remembrance. So yeah, there are so many options, so many options. So just going with the roses now. Now I always, when I'm using a rose in Oasis especially, I still slit the stem up just as I would if I was conditioning it. Just helps to expose more cell structure to the Oasis, which helps it to drink that little bit better. So again, just slitting the stem up before I'm placing it into the Oasis. One more stem in there I think. I didn't bargain for these roses being quite so full as they are. They are magnificent, aren't they?
It's stunning.
No fragrance though.
It's a shame. They look like they should.
They do look like they should. They look like the garden style that, because the garden roses that we get in are absolutely stunning. Smell fabulous.
So these could be a good substitute for, say, a garden rose if you didn't have that budget in mind.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And the beauty of something like this is you could remove the outer buds and use those for corsages and buttonholes and keep that beautiful, magnificent sort of single rose in the centre for the bridal bouquets. So again, really usable. And that actually
great in a flower crown or something to give you that look.
They would. And again, although when you pay out for something that's a little bit more upmarket, you do get the cost is reflected in that. These actually work out quite cost effective when you think that potentially you could get a corsage and possibly a buttonhole and a single stem for a bouquet out of one of those stems. Actually makes it quite a worthwhile purchase. Well, that's my opinion. So just popping in the Veronica. I'm really loving the spray Veronica. It's so much nicer than the single bloom, I think. Now just putting 3 of those stems in. Making sure I hit the Oasis.
So technique here as such in terms of how you're placing them into?
Not really. Not really, no. This is quite a random look today, I have to be honest with you. Only simply because I don't think the Wellingtons really lend themselves to anything that's too formal or structured. So yeah, to be honest with you, no, I'm not using anything that's no sort of formula as such. I just need a little bit more trailing down here. I'll just pop that in.
Just to let everyone know, everyone's asking names, etc. You can find all the ingredients on our events page, but I will also at the end of the video, I will just list everything that we've used instead of me repeating everything over and over again.
Yeah, I've now cut a couple of the stems of the Amimajus Visnaga, and you really can smell the dill fragrance. Can you smell it from there?
No, I was conditioning them earlier, and I did notice that fragrance.
It is really quite strong. It's not unpleasant, but it's very, very obvious.
With the Ami, a lot of is it more of a softer rose flower to use in floral foam?
It is quite soft. This has been well conditioned, thanks to my esteemed colleague standing very close to me. But yeah, it can be quite soft. It's not entirely happy in Oasis, but it is okay once it's been conditioned well.
And often the foliage, sorry I didn't leave any, but the foliage that is down the stem is not always that pure green, or is not, what's the word, it's a bit scatty. Would you always suggest to remove that?
Definitely.
And if it is discoloured, that's not almost like detrimental to the flower bloom?
Yeah, I would always remove it, definitely. Simply because, see if I can find you an example now. Ah yes, I can, look. So you can see where that started to damp off there, where it's got wet. It's very wet in that corner. So this has started to damp off, and it will start to rot the stem if you don't remove it. So yeah, I would remove it. In actual fact, I'd probably remove all of the foliage if it's going to be conditioned and in water for a period of time. Possibly just leave the top pieces on if you want them to add to the arrangement, but yeah, they do go very damp very, very quickly, especially this time of the year when moisture levels are a bit higher.
You mind just turning it a bit so we can
Not
see?
really, yeah.
You're lapping it up there.
There you go. So I'm now going to try and achieve something very similar in the other one. I don't think I need a huge amount more in there, to be fair. Just pop that bit in the middle, just bring that focus all the way through. Ooh. Missed the bottle there. There you go, there we are. Okay, so that's my first one.
Can you explain to us what you've kind of done in terms of, because you did just say you've brought all the colour through.
Yeah, so I was saying that it's quite a random style arrangement. That's not entirely true, because as you've probably guessed, I quite like Grandma's Garden, the spray roses. I've used those as almost like a focal point. And again, that's probably the most expensive flower that we've selected out of everything here. So using those so that they can be viewed is a good idea. If you've got something quite expensive, don't use it on the periphery of the arrangement. Don't use it so it's tucked away and you can't see it very well. Take full advantage of the fact that that's the wow factor and put that central, which is why we call those the focal flowers. They're prominent, they're centre, they're your wow factor, they're what you see first. So yeah, always do that with your better blooms, your more expensive blooms. Showcase those, use those centrally. So that's what I've done with the spray roses. I've then, to highlight those, added the Lisianthus and the Veronica, just to accent those really. And then just added the Thalasso's in already. Just added the Amimajus, just to give that lighter, sort of more meadow-like feel to it. So yeah, that's what I've done with that one. So I'm now going to start the other one. without making too much clatter in the bin. Now, as I say, because of the style arrangement, it doesn't necessarily have to match. So I am going to start doing it in the same format that I did the other one, but not necessarily identical. So this Lisianthus, the double rosetta, is really lovely because it's got some fantastic long breaks on it. So as you can see from that one stem, I've got four really usable pieces. So yeah, really good value for money at the moment.
They're beautiful.
They
and
are.
I've just been told that the English is now available, or is becoming available, and they are stunning. So very much looking forward to them going on to the site.
The English flowers have been stunning so far.
They have. Unfortunately, the stocks are coming to an end, but the Lisianthus is back on.
And it's such a shame because the stocks have been magnificent.
Fragrance of them is phenomenal.
Well, you walk into the cold store and that's literally the thing that hits you, the smell of the stocks. A little bit like when we have some really lovely garden roses in. As soon as you open the door, wow, it's worth going in for, even if you do get cold. So, adding in the little pieces of Lisianthus now, quite delicate. So going back to what I was saying earlier, don't feel you have to use Oasis in this style arrangement. Because you've got that nice narrow drinks bottle that's been cut down, it kind of lends itself to a vase really. It's a perfect vase shape, so just put your cut flowers into that without foam if you feel you'd prefer to do it like that. We are very conscious of trying to be as eco-friendly as we can, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So, yep. So just going in centrally with the spray roses again. And like I say, you can cut so many pieces off these, it does make them sort of quite a cost-effective flower. That's often actually the perception that something is expensive. So, you know, like hydrangeas, for example, they are renowned for being quite an expensive flower, but they are really worth the money because one big hydrangea is going to give you such impact. If you bought a cheap rose to use as an equivalent, you'd probably end up having to buy sort of 10 stems of that just to equate to the same impact. So actually, in effect, it's going to work out more expensive. So yeah, it doesn't always pay to buy a cheaper option.
That's obviously like dependent on obviously what you're doing, but
yeah,
for
of
instance,
course.
if you were doing jam jars, then maybe a smaller option would be good. But yeah, if you
want that wow factor, like for example, if you're doing a big candelabra arrangement or something like that, 3 large hydrangeas in a candelabra can look stunning. If you want to get that impact with roses, you're going to need a good 20 roses, if not more. So yeah.
We're nattering away to ourselves, and
we are.
Everyone's listening very intently.
Oh, are they?
Make sure you comment. We'd love to hear your opinions. At the end of the day, this is a sharing platform. We love talking to everyone on here, so make sure you make sure your comments are heard as well.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we really welcome any feedback.
So we've got Julie who says that she once did an arrangement in a pair of red high heels. For a friend who loved them, really loved the welly arrangements too.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, red stilettos. Yeah, I can get that. That sounds like a really good. Yeah, I did a demonstration piece in red stilettos once with white Phalaenopsis orchids and black ostrich feathers.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a bit very burlesque. Okay, so now I'm just adding the last pieces of the Ami Majors to this arrangement.
If you wanted, say, to make it an all-rounder, so if you wanted to, say, make it a table centre for a wedding, say, or a corporate event, at the back it's quite high, would you make it more of a rounded arrangement?
Yeah, and to be fair, what I would probably have done is brought the Oasis up slightly higher than the welly, so you can then bring flowers in at a cascading kind of angle. Because if this was going to sit on a table, you've already got quite a bit of height there anyway. So rather than going up further, you almost want to bring everything down and around. But you can't do that if your oasis is quite low. So you need to bring the oasis up and above the container so you can get everything in at that kind of angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could.
Or you just opt for children wellies.
Well, there is that. Yeah, there is that. You could do children's wellies. Yeah, lots of children go into their cupboards now, hiding their wellies, especially if they've got mums that are flower arrangers. Okay, so I'm just popping that last piece of Amimajus into the front there, which it doesn't really want to play the game. Here we go. You can see I am actually putting them in quite a long way into the oasis, and don't forget you can water them because you've got that lovely plastic drinks bottle. I'm just going to get rid of this rubbish.
Oh, we've got Vanessa who says that she's done Father Christmas wellies before with gypsodelia and red roses as the socks.
Oh, what a brilliant idea! I'm still having nightmares about Father Christmas from our Christmas design that we did. Okay, so I'm just putting those on a slightly different angle so you can see how it can work. And there we go.
And let's move Debbie
Can
to
we
the side. No.
This
I
side?
know what you're like. Come on.
Here. Which is the best angle? You can see here. Okay. Right. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed our April showers. Really, it's been a little bit of fun this Friday afternoon. So I hope it's inspired you to do something fun for the weekend. Hopefully you don't get rained on. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like us and don't forget to share us with your friends, and please do visit our Facebook page and our YouTube channel for lots more inspirational videos, tips and hints on conditioning. We've got a fantastic month coming up with our month of peonies. So yeah, everybody's favourite flower, the peony, and notoriously impossible to predict on how they open and how to hold them back. But hopefully our tips and hints will help you with that. So look out for that. And also next week we're all about bird cages. So bearing in mind I'm somebody that's actually not great with birds, we will be leaving birds out completely. So do join us next Friday for our live stream regarding bird cages. Have a fantastic weekend and happy healthy week, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday. Bye for now.